That'll be the thumbnail.
There we go. All right, that is. Oh, it looks like YouTube is realizing we have a stream. Let's go to Facebook, and if you are watching on Facebook, thank you very much. Yep. YouTube is working. No, I didn't open another tab. Facebook. What? I'm not sure what happened there. My tab just disappeared. And let's see. Yes, we have that. So there we go. And mute it once. It looks like YouTube is mute it twice. And let's do a share. Wow, Facebook is slow.
What do you mean slow? Like
just slow to load.
The video or
slow to load.
Okay.
That's that. Let me tear this tab off so that we can keep an eye on the chat while we come on. There we go. Tear the tab off, slide that over there, and you know what? I'm gonna move this one over there. What? I don't have the right glasses on.
All right, give me 1 second.
I can read. Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Makes for exciting podcasting here, people. This is Technorama. Let me get the right screen up. Title. Nope. If it dings, that means it's not happy. Let's go to that and that. There we go. This is the pre-show. Technorama is the podcast that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. Welcome. Hey, we got a number of people joining us. Appreciate it very much. We've got, I'm going to go check the other screen. Live streaming is so much fun. Don't let anyone tell you any different. We had somebody on YouTube. Welcome. It is we're starting a little late. We had some audio issues. Want to make sure we brought you at least some semblance of a podcast that had some quality to it. If I sound a little tired, I apologize. I spent about 4 hours this morning making a 3-minute video. It was the first time making this particular video format. So, of course, got to set up all the lights and all the camera and all the video shots and camera angles and realize there's a reflection coming off of a picture. Just dealing with all that stuff took several hours. And then, of course, trying to read the script and say the script without stumbling and fumbling and multiple takes, editing later, and finally getting that 3-minute video out. An hour later, jumped online with T. Morris, and we did about 3.5 hours of Podcasting for Dummies, the companion podcast, because we record 4 episodes in a row. So, yeah, I've been in the studio a lot today. And let's do another couple hours of Technorama and the Patreon podcast. You ready yet, buddy? Doesn't have his headphones on. He had to secure his webcam. Because it's not how you sound on a podcast, it's how you look. Hey, John Miller Jr., Amy, good to see you. Dan, wonderful. Everybody's signing in. You ready to go, bud? Now what?
What a mess.
Now what? Right. You ready?
Why can't I hear anything now?
I don't know. I can hear you.
What is going... There we go.
Hey, you ready?
Yeah, 1 second. Hold on. Zoom. All right.
We're streaming absolutely nothing at this point. We probably should have waited another couple of minutes while we got that squared away.
Yeah, let's see.
Now you know how the sausage is made.
Yeah, I'm actually just organizing my stuff here. I'm getting stressed.
Well, I can do the intro if you want to finish the organization part of it.
Oh, I'm okay.
Give me the green light.
Go for it.
Christina, good to see you. Hello, everybody. We're going to keep an eye on the chat, and we are going to start the audio recording of Technorama episode 631. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to read that title, but okay.
You can do it.
VAR show equals new Technorama. You know how easily my fingers typed that?
I bet.
Like JavaScript just rolls off the fingertips on that one.
That's right.
Okay. And we'll start recording in 5, 4, 3, 2, Technorama episode 631, VAR show equals new Technorama. Wait, there's a new Technorama? What happened to the old Technorama?
Reborn as a new class.
Oh, well, this show has no class, so we don't have to worry about that. That's a classless call. Hey, welcome to Technorama. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. We thank you very much. And if you are returning, welcome back. I am Chuck Tomasi from sunny Phoenix, Arizona, and right there across the screen is Craig Stepp. How are you, Craig?
I'm doing well. Well, sort of. I'm trying to reorganize everything right before showtime. We got it.
Welcome to podcasting.
I know. This is how it's made. Yep, that's right.
Wouldn't it be nice to just have one of those podcasting jobs where you walk into the studio and everything is just up and running and somebody takes care of that for you? You just sit down and do the show and then leave?
Well, due to COVID, our assistants are remote. So
you know what the issue is when you walk into a shared studio, though? Nothing's ever right. You know what the problem is when you have your own studio at home? Nothing's ever right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Same thing, different day.
Who changed this on me? It was working yesterday. It was working this morning.
That's
All right. Enough about the... Hey, for those of you that there are worse problems we could have than mixers being mixed up. Really, our hearts go out to the people in Texas that have been having problems with the water and the snow and the cold. So be safe, be smart, and don't bring your grill indoors to heat your house. You'll get carbon monoxide poisoning. So please take care of yourselves. We really do. Our thoughts and prayers are with all of you. So with that, I think we are ready to go on to the feedback section. So let's see what we got in the question of the week bag.
Letters. Oh, we get letters. We get your letters every day. Mailman, mailman, mail today. Reach right in and pull one out. Those letters. I love those letters. Let's find out what you've got to say. Oh, boy. Mailman.
What are you laughing at?
I'm reading some of the answers to the question of the week. Amy said, this is a non-explicit tagged show on Apple Podcasts, so it does have class. Thank you.
Yes, that's right.
All right, our question of the week last week was, what common product has a feature...
Wait a minute.
Not what?
That's not the right question.
What? I'm reading show 631. I clicked on the... Why are there two Technorama links in here, Craig? Who's editing the show notes as we go?
No, the last question was, what have you wasted most of your time on, and was it worth it?
That's not what I'm reading in episode 631. Are you on the right show notes?
I am.
Wow. You know this is going to be a world-class show when we're not even seeing the same questions.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, wait a second. Hold on a second.
No, I'm seeing the picture of Fry.
Yeah, hold on. So last week, our question was, what have you wasted the most time on, and was it worth it?
Okay, well, these show notes got copied from last week, then.
So,
someone who builds the show notes fell asleep at the wheel.
No. So go down that second Technorama link.
Yes. Okay.
I think
and that's all we got. Why is there a Technorama Chuck Craig?
Look, we're in the middle of the show. I just typed Technorama and did the link. Look. so look, the question is, what have you wasted time on, and was it worth it?
Apparently podcasting.
So, yeah. Sounds like it.
Or not preparing for a podcast.
Right. So if you go look, all right. So we did get some answers on when Technorama posted this. And it says, Tyler Hurst said, my university degree, not my associates from my community college, but that was worth every penny. But the bachelor's, complete waste.
Really?
Yeah. It's interesting.
All right.
And Sweet Steve London, he says, building wooden ships, wooden ship model, excuse me, hundreds, if not thousands of hours. And yes, it was worth it. And I still do it. And no power in the verse can stop me. There you go.
I love his no power in the verse.
Right.
Your Firefly is showing.
Yeah.
Jack Mangan says, English 101 term paper. Spent hours in the college computer lab typing. Then, when it was done, learned I had the wrong floppy disk format. Lost the whole thing. Had to rewrite from the beginning. My first lesson in save early, save often.
Right.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, it sucks.
Now Jack Mangan is a pretty easygoing guy. If you know him, he's the deadpan Jack Mangan. That deadpan Jack Mangan. And I can only imagine his terror when that happened. This is Jack Mangan getting frustrated.
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
Oh, yeah. That sucks. Right. That's about right, too. John Miller Jr. said baking a homemade pie, apple pie, for Thanksgiving nearly 10 years ago. Wasted money on ingredients, wasted time on baking a pie that exploded in the oven, and it took him 2 days to clean the oven. What? Well, it was not worth it.
That's when you get a self-cleaning oven, dude.
Right.
Jeff Andron says Roller Coaster Tycoon, definitely worth it.
Mm-hmm. Lone Guys Night says college Russian course. No. Well, obviously not. You just said no and not
Yet.
Yeah. I had a couple of responses. I don't know if you shared the that particular.
I did not have a chance this weekend. No, it was a crazy weekend. Right.
So Gary Lindros said Dragon's Lair. There is no skill, only hitting the button in the right movements to get to the next track on the video disc. I said, well, now you can just go watch it on YouTube. So
what?
It's all on YouTube, the old Dragon's Lair.
That's no fun.
Well, he didn't have to hit the buttons, so it's not a waste of time. Digital Dan Hook said video editing projects.
Well, it's kind of worth it.
It can be a sync, though.
You think? Yeah, I can.
Yeah. So there you go. Those are our questions, and sorry you posted the wrong one.
Amy's asking John Miller Jr. Too much baking soda for the pie?
Right.
Oh man.
May been, yeah. He ended up making a science experiment like one of his volcanoes.
Vinegar and baking soda volcano.
That's right.
All right. Thank you, everybody who contributed. We will ask another question for you at the end of the show and in social media next week. So stick with us.
Yeah. We'll coordinate and share the right question.
We are going to march right into, let's get the marching band. There we are. And we'll march right along with the history segment on this day in history for February 24th, 2021. This is the 55th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. There are 310 days remaining in 2021. Not a lot. Man, this was a really thin week for events. I should play the 2-minute version of this song.
Yeah. Right.
It was on this date in 1854 that a penny red with perforations was the first perforated postage stamp, there's an alliteration for you, to be officially issued for distribution.
Huh. Also on February 24th, 1863, Arizona was organized as a U.S. state's territory.
Well, the organization part fell apart quickly. You can let me know when we get reorganized. It was
when in 2011 Chuck showed up?
2014.
14, excuse me.
Yeah, right. It was all downhill from there. Oh, it was funny because last night on karaoke I was singing Ride Like the Wind. No. Yeah. Was that one? Yeah, I've got such a long way to go to make it to the border of Mexico. I'm like, stone's throw away from here.
Right.
Also on February 24th, 1863. Oh, we already read that one. It was on this date in 1980 that the United States Olympic hockey team completed its miracle on ice by defeating Finland 4-2 to win the gold medal. Okay, we're putting in hockey things. It's so thin this week.
No kidding. It's also on this date in 2007 that Japan launched its fourth spy satellite, stepping up its ability to monitor potential threats such as North Korea.
North Korea is not a threat.
Okay.
Happy birthday. What are you making a note over there? I'm writing that down. I'm not, that was good. I'm writing that down.
I'm looking that up.
American Admiral Chester Nimitz was born on this date in 1885.
And American actor Abe Vigoda, Fishman, was born 100 years ago today.
Did you know he was also on The Godfather?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yeah. He was actually on a lot of things like that, kind of in the background a little bit.
Yeah, he 100. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, he did eventually pass away. I think it was 2016.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
James Ferrantino, American actor, was born on the same date in 1938.
And also turning 83 today is American businessman and philanthropist. Tripping over my tongue. Philanthropist. Co-founded Nike, Phil Knight.
Phil Knight? That Phil Knight?
Not that Phil Knight.
American actor and director. You know who the CEO of Nike is right now, right?
Yes, I do. Our old CEO.
Did you know who the CEO was before that? No.
No.
American actor and director Edward James Olmos is 74.
Hey, and Steve Jobs, American businessman, co-founded Apple and Pixar, was born on the same date in 1955.
He would have been 66 today.
Wow.
Australian astrophysicist and academic Nobel Prize laureate Brian Schmidt was born today in 1967. All right, let's get into the listener birthdays because they're even more important. February 25th, happy birthday to Norbert. And Mark Shepard's lovely wife, Sandy, is also on the 25th. February 28th, Wayne, your ad here, Pettinger from
Sell out.
Bethlehem, PA.
Sell out.
And on the 29th, well, there is no 29th this year, so do we have to give this guy a birthday wish or wait 3 years?
We'll wait 3 years.
Okay,
No.
well, in 3 years, when he listens to this, because nobody listens to it the same day anyway,
Right.
Paul Dove, a.k.a. Aylmer from Malmesbury, UK. Happy birthday to all of our listeners and everybody. If you're not on our calendar and it's this week is your birthday, happy birthday to you too. In fact, Saturday, the 27th, is my mom's birthday. Ho ho! I gotta remember my mom's birthday. That's an important one. That's the way it was on this day in history for February 17th, 2021. Woohoo! All right, stop that and let them know. Let's put up get the right app up here. And
Hey, Christina Norris says she has an historic day 35 years ago that will forever hold a beacon in history. I'm like, what is it? Her birthday? I don't know.
Yes, she said yes. The 24th. Happy birthday.
Yeah, she did.
Well,
there you go.
that's good because this show is going out on the 24th. Happy birthday, Christina. See, that's why we say if it's your birthday this week, we wish you all the best, even if you're not on the birthday calendar. Happy birthday. But if you want to get on the birthday calendar, check it out. I got a link right below here on the video, but we also have a link for the audio listeners as well. chuckchat.com/wiki is where you go to get on the birthday calendar. We will give you a shout out at the appropriate time of year. That's all you got to do. All right, let's get into some news. Let's see. We have some good news.
Aren't you going to say good news, everyone?
Oh, I just said that for Fry's benefit.
Right.
Well, first thing we want to do is give a shout out to NASA and JPL for all of their perseverance.
Yeah. Part of that.
Didn't work.
Yeah. Of course, they landed the rover last week. Of course, everybody probably knows by now. But did you watch the launch video?
I
or
did.
I'm sorry, the landing video.
No, I did not watch the landing video. Unfortunately, I was consumed by meetings this week. And but I did note that that picture of the selfie from the sky crane to the lander.
Yes.
That's like one of those NASA mission photos that's going to go down in history, kind of like Neil Armstrong on the moon, where it's iconic because that's the first time you've seen that view of it. And our good friend, well, I'd like to call him a good friend. We interviewed the guy. Adam Stelzner was named by, he was the mission commander or mission specialist, or he's I think he's moved up in ranks, but he's the guy who came up with the sky crane idea for Curiosity, and he wrote a book called The Right Kind of Crazy, all about that mission. We interviewed him, so if you look up Adam Stelzner on our blog over at chuckchat.com/Technorama, I forgot what year that was, but it was a while ago.
Actually, I'll put a link in the show notes.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, and by the way, I was watching, set up a reminder for myself on YouTube to when it was coming up, and when it came on, I was watching it, and it looks they had the camera in. It was a VR YouTube video, and they
Okay.
had the camera in the control room, so you can scroll around or pan around, and you can see everybody sitting there working, and see the people that are talking, and they had on a virtual screen up above, I kept hearing this lady talking about what was happening. And I went, who's talking? And kept scrolling around and I looked up and went, oh, there's like a virtual screen with her on it. And I watched it and it landed and they started celebrating in the control room. And I went, wait, this is VR. I could drag around. I drag around. You could see everybody high fiving and like you're standing there
Cool.
with them, which was kind of neat, you know.
So kudos to you, NASA and JPL, for a mission well done. I'll bet they were just on pins and needles at the very end.
How can you not be? All that build up, all that
Yep.
work,
Yep.
It's years of work, to see what happens in a few minutes.
All right. What's the next story, Craig?
All right. So, why Time Magazine named its immunotherapy cancer's newest miracle cure? Let me open that up. I did not pre open it. So, in 2015, Scott McIntyre was given 4 months to live. The diagnosis was obvious, a malignant B cell lymphoma that had spread to his lungs. His doctors have tried everything, several rounds of chemotherapy, stem cell transplant, and targeted radiation therapy, but the cancer kept coming back. His doctors were almost out of options. They proposed an experimental and uncertain immunotherapy called, I sort of say CART, but it's CAR T cell therapy. His own immune systems were taken from his body, genetically engineered, and infused back into his blood in an attempt to destroy the cancer. There were no guarantees that this would work, but at the very least, scientists would be able to learn more about his cancer and how he responded to therapy. He had nothing left to lose, so he went ahead with the procedure. And 5 years later, he's still cancer free.
Very cool.
Yeah. So they programmed the T cells to attack the cancer, his own, so his body wouldn't reject them, which I thought was really cool. And they called it a living, dividing drug that can persist in the body for years, continually patrolling the body in order to ensure the cancer doesn't come back. It's almost like nanoprobes, program them to go attack the wrong kind of things in your body and keep you clean.
This is encouraging.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So anyway, there's a lot more detail in there. I'm not going to go through all the detail because I don't understand it myself, but because I'm no immunotherapist. But go check it out. Very encouraging, and it's obviously very smart stuff.
All right, let's go on to the next one, and we've got. It says COVID in here. I'm not sure I want to read this one. Everybody's still too little fresh. Man offered vaccine after error listed him as 6.2 centimeters tall.
And that's why it's in there.
A man in his 30s with no underlying health conditions was offered a COVID vaccine after a National Health Service error mistakenly listed him as just 6.2 centimeters in height. Okay, to give you a hint, that's, let's see. 2 inches is about 5 centimeters, so just a little north of that, almost 6 inches high.
Yeah.
No, 3 inches high. Liam Thorpe was told he qualified for the jab because his measurements gave him a body mass index of 28,000. He told BBC Radio 5 Live, "I've put on a few pounds in lockdown, but I was surprised to have made it clinically morbidly obese." Oh, they had his weight right, but his because his height was so low. Okay, yeah, that's nice. It really made me rethink what it was going to do for pancake night.
I know. Actually, when I was reading this, I kept thinking of a pancake, because it's it was wheat night.
Like one of those
wide.
cartoons where somebody gets squashed with an anvil and then they walk
Yep.
away.
With a
they're
big
about
mallet. Bam!
6 feet high, 6 inches high. Okay.
That's right.
National Health Service Liverpool Clinical Commissioning Group said occasional errors could happen. Dr. Fiona Lemons admitted she could, quote, see the funny side, but also recognized there is an important issue for us to address. You think? Why is centimeters even a unit of measure in that thing? Well, I guess you'd measure people and say they're 170 centimeters high, I guess.
Or meters high or whatever.
Yeah, it should be like 1.7 meters high, but okay. There are millions of GP appointments taking place every day, and while we take care to make sure records are accurate, occasional data errors do occur. Mr. Thorpe, 32, said he was surprised to be offered the vaccine, so called his GP to check. Then he was then informed he was in vaccine priority group because of his weight. The National Health Service says a BMI of between 30 and 39.9 is classed as obese. And what did he say before? 28,000.
Hey, there was no range in the code logic. It was just like greater than 39. Oh,
If you're greater than 30, you're at the top of the list. Whoa, call this guy, bring it to his house. Like most people, I put on a few pounds in lockdown, but was surprised to have made it all the way to clinically morbid obese. He said, okay, we got that. Although my mom wasn't surprised by this, she said she noticed I'd put on a few, and this was probably the wake-up call I needed.
yeah. Oh, I'm
That's
sorry. I'm just
nice.
thinking of the coding behind this. Select all greater than BMI greater than 30.
Order by.
Order by.
Order
That's what I
by.
was saying. I'm sorry.
You
Sequel
think that
humor,
would
gotta love
jump
it.
out at somebody? Like, how do you, if they're looking at the BMI going, well, that can't be right.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, I did see this next article. Go ahead and
No,
read the one.
hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
They probably went ahead and gave him an appointment. I got to see this. When they
People
say, "I
are
gotta see this
gathering
guy."
around. Where is he? Where is he?
That's right. Okay. Sorry. Move along.
Oh, I'm so disappointed. The guy he's not 6.2 centimeters.
Yeah.
Your turn.
I just read that one.
The popular mechanic. Oh, you read that one? I thought I read that one. No, I read the British guy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's right. Never
Holy
mind.
smokes. Well-oiled machine. We're just
okay.
using really cheap oil.
That's right. Yeah, let me zoom in here a little bit so I can read it. All right. So this ferret died 33 years ago, and scientists just brought her back to life.
I saw this on Reuters News Channel.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yep.
So for the first time, scientists have cloned an endangered U.S. species, a black-footed ferret named Elizabeth Ann, whose donor has been dead for more than 30 years. After the original ferret, Willa, died in 1988, scientists froze her body to preserve her genetic material, hoping to someday perform an experiment like this. While a domesticated ferret carried the cloned embryo, the new ferret, who is being raised at a Fish and Wildlife Service black-footed ferret breeding facility in Fort Collins, Colorado, is still very wild, with all the instincts and aggressions that suggests. So this is a fresh success story of for the black-footed ferret, which has become emblematic of how well conservation and repopulation efforts can work. First, scientists thought the ferret was extinct after frustrated ranchers poisoned almost all of the animals in the wild. Then the population grew from a group of just a few, so there are about 1,000 wild black ferrets today, plus populations in wildlife preserves, zoos, and other supervised programs.
Hooray!
Yay! So they can go back to poison them again.
No.
No. So Willa was a special animal even before she died, because the way black-footed ferrets come back from believed extinction, each animal was precious to the genetic diversity, and with it, the robustness and trait of vigor of the new population. So Freezing Willa was a way to preserve an important genetic specimen in order for future scientists to find a way to bring those genes back to the group. So when Willa died, the Wyoming Game Fish Department sent her tissues to a frozen zoo. Well, that's got to be boring to go walk through.
A frozen zoo?
Yeah. Oh, look, there's a polar bear. You know,
No, it's a polar bear embryo frozen.
yeah,
Even less
worse.
exciting. It's a test tube.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, run by the San Diego Zoo Global that maintains cells for more than 1,100 species and subspecies worldwide. So for now, cloning Willa is a huge help, but that's not the end of the program. That's not the end of the plans for the frozen animals like her. Eventually, scientists may be able to modify those genes to help cloned animals survive. And I'm getting a Jurassic Park vibe when I'm reading this.
No. They're not bringing back old dinosaurs. They're just.
I hope not.
They're helping the ferrets come back.
Yeah, and there's a video about it, so you can go check
And
it
in
out.
other news, you remember the movie Hidden Figures, right?
Yes.
Well, a space station supply ship named after the black NASA mathematician featured in the movie Hidden Figures rocketed into orbit Saturday, the 59th anniversary of John Glenn's historic launch. And if you watched my karaoke last night, you'll know that because I do a history segment there too. Northrop Grumman's Cygnus capsule, dubbed the SS Katherine Johnson, should reach the International Space Station on Monday following its launch from Virginia's eastern shore. Johnson died almost exactly a year ago at the age of 101. We give you a binary high five.
How appropriate.
Mrs. Johnson was selected for her handwritten calculations that helped launch the first Americans into space, as well as her accomplishments in breaking glass ceiling after glass ceiling as a black woman. Frank DeMauro, a Northrop Grumman vice president, said on the eve of liftoff, "A homework assignment for all of you is to go watch that movie after the Cygnus launch." Wow. They had homework to do. But it was a good movie.
Right. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Johnson's numbers contributed to the February 20th, 1962 flight in which Glenn became the first American to orbit the world. The film, released in late 2016, depicted the effort put forth by Johnson and other black women at NASA's Langley Research Center in Hampton, Virginia, during the early days of space exploration. Langley is 100 miles or 160 kilometers from the launch site at Wallops Island. Northrop Grumman launched a 4-ton shipment for NASA in the early afternoon from Wallops, where temperatures were just above freezing. Didn't we learn anything from Challenger? Don't
No
launch.
kidding.
The Antares rocket was visible from the Carolinas to Connecticut, at least where the skies were clear. This will be the space station's second delivery in less than a week. A Russian capsule pulled up Wednesday with apples and oranges, among other things. "Oh, we love fresh food," tweeted Japanese astronaut Soichi Noguchi. He noted that the space station flew over Virginia just 10 minutes ahead of Saturday's launch. Oh, man, they just missed it. That would have been cool to see your food coming up like, hey, look, it's lifting off.
Right.
They were just a little bit ahead of that. So, very cool. Very cool.
That is very cool.
Right.
That was a great movie. I enjoyed it. So if you hadn't seen it, go check it out. There's your homework for next week.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Hidden Figures, it really, I don't know where you can find it right now, but I saw it on an
It
airplane.
was on Disney Plus.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if you don't have Disney Plus, you can go find it somewhere else.
It was one of those movies. I'm watching it going, some of it a little bit of it I was aware of, but I was like, wow, I had no idea. Now remember, the time frame is kind of compressed. I don't think we talked about this. The main characters they didn't necessarily work with each other because they happened over a period of years, but they kind of compressed up the movie. But it gets the point across that you're like, wow, this is some great stories that everybody should be aware of, but they're not.
I heard a new podcast. I was on a Clubhouse chat the other night, and I might have been, was it Evo's? No, yeah, I think it was. I think it was our. Oh no, I don't remember. I've been on too many Clubhouse chats lately around podcasting. But one of them said, "Good podcast to listen to is Black History is American History." And I haven't subscribed to it yet, but I do plan on doing that. So there's a lot of history that just never made it into the history books that is part of, like the Hidden Figures story. Like, wow, nobody knew about that until the movie came out, and you went, holy cow, how many more of these, wonderful stories are there out there about how people contributed to our nation and just aren't getting the right credit for it. Also, speaking of podcasts, I was on a podcast. Well, it was recorded a few weeks ago, but it came out today? Well, depending on when you're listening to this. Came out this past weekend of February 20th/21st. The podcast is called Between the Functions. I think we mentioned this before.
Yes.
They talked to me, and it was a wonderful discussion. Ran a little long. Their normal format is about 30 minutes, and Windbag here went for an hour and 15. So
Windbag. That's right.
But it was a lot of fun. Andrew Alberdor and from Australia, we refer to him as Upside Down Andrew in the ServiceNow community, and Mark Scott, who is here in the Phoenix metro area as well, who works for ServiceNow. They put together a podcast, and I made it on episode 9. So that was fun.
Oh, good.
That was fun. I'm still.
Oh, that's right. They literally just started.
Yeah, like mid-December, I think was their first episode. So, Drew says, I have to buy an Apple device for Clubhouse. Well, I did. I updated my iPad.
Oh, that's why I can't use it.
They are working on an Android client, and I hope at some point they get a desktop so that you can tie in and use like a real professional microphone and get on there. Because right now, it's not bad. I mean, it's like sharing a party line.
Whenever I see apps and services that only support like Apple only or even Android only, it's like, that's a showstopper for me.
It's a showstopper for a lot of people that don't have that device. But when you think about it from, the fact that you have to write that application and then write it again, it's a venture capital thing. It's a startup.
I get that part. I'm just saying, for me, it's kind of a showstopper because I have a Windows box. I got a MacBook for work. I got an Android phone. I got a mix of devices, but I don't have like an iPhone and I don't have an iPad.
Did you sell your old iPhone 7?
No, long time ago.
Oh, okay. Because I remember you had one. You hated it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good phone, just not for me. No.
It's not for you, Jen.
No.
All right, let's give a shout out to the chat room. We've got a number of people that are joining us. I've got about 3 on YouTube. The only person who's really spoke up and raised his hand is Dhruv Gupta over in India. Thank you very much.
He's holding down the YouTube channel.
He is. We've been going back and forth. And going through the Facebook chat, we've got John Miller Jr., Amy Bowen, Dan Coyer, Christina. We mentioned them earlier on in the show. This guy named Craig. And do I see anybody else? Junior Appella. Hey, was out there. Hey, Junior. Good to see you.
Yeah, we got a good mix tonight.
We do. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. I don't see any. Oh, Mike Robeson joined us as well. Forgot. So unless you make a chat, we don't know you're there. Appreciate it very much that you're hanging out with us on this Sunday night. If you want to join us, you can do that 9:30 Eastern on Sunday nights, or whatever time that happens to be in your neighborhood. We appreciate it. What? Let's see. It would be 9:30 Eastern is 7:30 for me. That'd be 8 a.m. India time. There you go. I can do the math.
Wow.
Well, they're 12 and a half ahead of me right now. Anyway. Thank you to the patrons. This is next. So let's walk right into the patrons because we don't have anything in the media corner. Or do we? No, media corner's right down there. Thank you very much to our patrons. You are the people that keep this show financed. And we will do our best to continue to educate, entertain, and any other words we can think that start with E.
I'll say educate might be a stretch, but okay.
Hey, it's in the disclaimer video we have right on the front page. If you learn something, it's not our fault.
That's right.
I believe that was your
true.
line, Craig.
Yeah.
All right. For your gracious donations, let's also put up the Patreon thing here. Oh, got to get the right one. I probably just put some weird characters in the show notes. Apologize. I was on the wrong page. Patrons, Alexis Duran, Ember Elstead, Amy Bowen, who also happens to be online, as we mentioned, Abner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Brian Brown, Chris MC, Dan D. Man, who is also online. Wow, we got a lot of patrons on tonight. Danny
Yes.
Mortensen, Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis, Jorger Schrauen, Christina, Kyle Nishioka, Leon, Mark Kilfoyle. Thank you, Mike Wills, Chris Martinez. Wow, really slaughtered that one. Saturday Morning Media, Stephen Weshy. My mind is just, I am having a hard time reading. I've been doing like 7 hours of video today.
Oh, no, I'm enjoying this.
Steve Therian, Steve Cody, and Sweet Steve London. Quick story about Mike Wills. He posted a picture to Twitter, mentioned me and T. Morris. He saw our books in the store. Covers out, wonderful picture. Podcasting for Dummies on one end of the bookshelf and Twitch on the other end of the bookshelf. Twitch for Dummies. So T was very happy about that. I was very happy.
That's awesome.
And if you want to become a patron of this show, we greatly appreciate it. Not only do you get your name mentioned on the episode, but we get you a special podcast that we record right after this that is more laid back. It's kind of like the backstage show where we talk about whatever's on our mind, something from the past week, something that we just, it's non-structured discussion, kind of like hanging out in a clubhouse with us. Ooh, there's our back reference.
Yeah.
Very poor one at that. But you can go to patreon.com/Technorama podcast, and for as little as $1 an episode, you help finance this show and keep it running. I think we have been positively financed for 3-4 years now.
Oh, so it's their fault.
It's a wonderful thing. Thank you very much. Software upgrades, hosting, bandwidth, hardware, software. I think I mentioned software twice because it happens that often. Thank you very much, and we'll let the band go. 20 seconds. They have a great finish to this.
Oh, go.
Why do I picture some... dude...
Excellent.
I picture some dude's Christmas lights flashing on his house.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's about what it is like. Yeah.
That was one of those kind of songs. All right, into the hacks and strange stories. Whose turn is it?
Mine. I'll take it. So
We can't keep track. We need to color code these things like our interview questions.
Yeah, we need a mediator, I think. Over on Gizmodo, scientists find a way to communicate with dreaming people. And no, it's not just waking them up.
Okay.
Actually, that was the first thing I thought of, was just tap them on the shoulder, wake them up.
I was thinking about the episode where what was it? Tom Paris was asleep in the sick bay on Voyager.
Yeah.
And I think Tuvok asked the doctor, "Are you able to wake him up?" And he goes, "Wake up!"
All right.
The doctor just yells at him to wake up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Well, this is a little different. So the veil between dream world and reality may be thinner than we thought.
No, it's
In the
not. There is no veil for some of us. I can't remember if something was a dream or reality.
This last year seems like it's been a dream.
That was a nightmare.
Or nightmare, excuse me. Yeah, well, related. Anyway, so the dream world and reality may be thinner than we thought in a new study released Thursday. Scientists in 4 countries say they've shown it's possible to communicate with people while they're lucid dreaming. At least some of the time, the dreamers were reportedly able to respond to yes or no questions or simple math problems, through facial or eye movements. Afterwards, some recalling hearing the questions during the dream. So cognitive neuroscientist and study author Ken Paller and his colleagues were at Northwestern University in Chicago, have been studying the connection between sleeping and memory for years. It's commonly thought that sleep is crucial to the robust storage of memories created throughout the day, but little is still understood about the process of how dreams may play a role in it. We are investigating dreaming and to learn more about why dreams happen and how they might be useful for mental function during walking. waking.
I'm just gonna let you go.
Sorry, I started
Suddenly,
thinking
he
about,
went from talking in your sleep to walking in your sleep.
what was it? Probably one of the, you know what went in my head? The Flintstones. Like there was one where he was sleepwalking. Anyway, where Fred was sleepwalking. Anyway, Powler told Gizmodo. See where I went? Yeah.
Would you like to continue, or shall I?
I think I can move on. I'm sorry. I still see Fred in the sleeper hat. And
Well, I mean,
anyway.
any married couple will probably tell you that you can have this kind of influence while somebody is sleeping. You haven't you ever done that? Like you're
What?
awake
Try to-
and Kim is dreaming, and you say something and see if you can get a response,
No, I haven't done
or they
that.
start talking and you see if you can like start a conversation. Like,
Well, I usually wake up and go, I hear somebody talking. Oh, and it's Kim.
you never taken advantage of that situation? And they go, it's on in the kitchen. It's like, and you wake, you say, who's in the kitchen? Grandma.
It's okay for Craig to spend $100 on something. Put some suggestions in there.
No, I changed the pin on the credit card.
Did you do? Have you done
what's
that?
the
Donna?
what's the new credit card pin?
Yeah.
462.
Yeah. What's the nuclear football codes? Anyway,
Oh,
so have you
dear.
done that with Donna?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Oh, no.
Or
Come on.
has Donna done it to me?
Hmm. That's a better question, I guess.
I think that's the better question. All right. We've got a couple of in the past the remote.
Yeah.
I really, really wanted to use that for a
What?
news segment for
Oh.
work, but I don't know if it's licensed or not. I can't find the original clip.
Oh,
It's not even labeled properly anymore. Anyway, past the remote, I watched a show on Netflix called Crime Scene: Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel, because I like true crime shows.
Mhm.
Good show, but just too long. Just too long. It was 45 an hour long episodes. It
Yeah.
went on, and I was asking questions that weren't answered for 10 more minutes. Like, okay, what did the coroner's report say about how this person died? Blah, 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 blah. How'd you get on the roof? And blah, 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 blah. And it's like, then they finally get to the coroner. And then they stretch that out. It's like, just get the coroner report back. It's like, tell us what you found. Oh, the lab results didn't come back for months. And it was an interesting show about this woman from Vancouver who was 21 years old. This was in 2013. She went on a tour down the west coast of the U.S., San Diego, L.A. She was going to head back up towards Vancouver. She was exerting some of her newfound independence, and she went missing in L.A. at the Cecil Hotel, which is kind of one of the... It used to be a really nice hotel built back in the 1920s. Very opulent lobby, but then when you get up to the upper floors, it's like, what a dump. And it was in that 56 block area of LA known as Skid Row. Yes, there is a real Skid Row. It's not just the name of a band or a fictitious, down in the dumps place. There really is a Skid Row, and it is as miserable as you might think, with homeless people and just a terrible, terrible place. Lots of crime. And they thought, oh, well, one of the Skid Row people must have killed her. I won't ruin the ending story of it. Donna actually remembered this from the news story. She goes, oh, is this the story where It's like, yes. How did you remember that? They eventually do find out what happened to her. And they got to the end and they said, well, once we found this out, it was like, well, I told you that from the beginning. It's like, they were just kind of being stupid. But there was a sad part to this story as well. Not just the sadness of this woman that died, but also these internet web sleuths, as they call themselves. They try to be helpful citizens, but they don't always have all the information. So they were tearing apart the coroner's report, going, hey, this doesn't mean, this isn't right, and this doesn't. And the coroner's going, look, you didn't have all the data when you made this decision. Well, then they started pointing these fingers at this musician known as Morbid. He's like a death metal guy. So
Well, when you got a name like Morbid,
that was his stage name.
let's say your career opportunities are
And he made a video from that hotel, and everybody goes, oh, look, he was there. And he talks about, killing people and death and dying. Well, yeah, he's kind of doing death metal. That's sort of the theme, people.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean he did it. And they were giving him death threats. Like, we know you killed her. Just admit it. Turns out he was there a year before this girl even got into town. He was there in 2012. But they didn't let up on him, and they really ruined his career. He's still suffering from it like 7 years later. He goes, I can't do music anymore. They've totally trashed my life. So, and nobody's ever apologized. They just went, okay, I guess, It was really interesting from that side effect of these web sleuths meaning to do good, but they get so focused on where they're going and they think they're right when they don't have all the facts, and there's collateral damage. So, it reminded me a lot of the O.J. Simpson case. Everybody's going, he did it, or the Making of a Killer one on Netflix. Everybody's got their opinions, but you are looking at it looking it through at such a processed lens, unless you are in that courtroom. And even then, it might be biased as to how the prosecution proceeds and how, I know that our court systems aren't perfect, but unless you're in that courtroom, it's okay to have an opinion, but don't go after people and start making accusations and causing damage when you don't have all of the facts. And I remember when in the 90s when O.J. Simpson was on trial, and people are just having, back and forth and yes and no, and he did it, he didn't do it, and look at this, it's compelling evidence. Like, you're getting this through the press. It's so filtered and reprocessed that you're not getting the original data, and that's the only way you should be able to make a true found decision. So I'm not saying that it's you shouldn't have an opinion, but your opinion should be based in fact, and you should always be open to change when new data is presented. And a lot of people don't do that. They get into, this is the way it is, and I'm sticking by my guns, and there's an ego attached to it. It's like, oh, for God's sake. So that's what was driving me nuts. So I give this not a very high score. Out of 10, I give this about a 5. Interesting from a true crime perspective. Too long. Sad story. They should have wrapped it up. I don't like the way the order it was presented and just how long they dragged some of these things out. Going, look, they should have, if they'd talked to this dude and presented his whole story in episode 2 of 4,
right, the
show would have been over. It could have been a 1-hour special. It really could have. But
yeah, well, those kind of documentaries like on a crime, like you're talking about, I prefer them to be like in 1 hour, like in a 1 hour in and out. I want to know the answer when I'm done.
Yeah, I thought they dragged
3
out
3 or 4 episodes.
Making of a Murderer kind of dragged out. I do like the way that they kind of went from the defense side to the prosecution side, and you kind of got flip-flopped, which is like a real court case. If you've ever been in court and you hear it, you're going, wow, prosecution just made a really good statement. I'm on board with them. And then you hear the defense going, well, they just made a really powerful statement too. Huh, now I got to think about this and weigh it out. So I liked that, but you're right. It was a bit long on that respect too. And then they had a season 2. What do you got?
Season 2. Now I know I'm a little bit slow on the trigger on this one, but I finally saw The Shape of Water. Have you seen that?
Yes, I did. This may have been another airline one, if I remember right. Doug Jones was in it.
Yeah.
One of our favorites.
I've had it on my list for a long time, and it was on Hulu. So I was like, okay, well, no brainer. I'll watch it. And I watched it this morning. And I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. Doug Jones really sold it as the aquatic
I think this
creature
was
man.
an award-winning movie. I'm not sure. I thought it won an Academy Award.
I did not look that up. I should have, but I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was original enough where, actually, I was thinking it was kind of like the creature from the Black Lagoon. Where
At first, yeah, it kind of had that feeling, but
Yeah.
it went way beyond that in terms of depth. No
And
pun
then-
intended.
Yeah. Right. So I know I'm not telling anybody anything new about this movie. It came out in 2017, but I certainly enjoyed it. If you hadn't seen it, I would certainly recommend it. It was about a creature, that obviously aquatic creature. The I forget what group that guy was with. Anyway, they brought him in to get some answers, study him, because they were, it's one of those things they wanted to get ahead of what the Russians might find out, or
Mhm.
kind of thing. So they're trying to not really even study him, but the guy's beating him, and I don't know what he's hoping for him to do, is to spill some secrets or something. The creature couldn't even talk, so he was beating him and torturing him. And the Elise, the main character, she kind of fell in love with the creature and helped.
Well,
helped
she
him.
was mute, if I remember right.
She was mute.
Yep.
And to a large degree, the creature was as well,
Mhm.
because it wasn't speaking, and she identified with it and really felt in line with the creature. So she fell in love with him, and I won't go into all the details, but it was a fun movie. I mean, fun. It was a good movie. I thought it was really good, really well done.
What would you give it? 1 to 10?
Oh, I would. That was for me, probably a 9. That was super good.
Yeah, I would say it was up there too. 9.5. Very good movie.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro he is certainly a director. He's a gem for sure.
All right, let's wrap it up with this last Remember When article. Thank you very much. That was some good information out of
Yeah.
Pass Me the Remote. We'll see if we have anything next week. But right now in the Remember When, video of Star Wars toys at Toys R Us in May 21st, 1980.
This was awesome to watch, by the way. But go ahead.
I did not see this. Let's see. From Retroist, everyone knew that The Empire Strikes Back was going to be a big hit. Not just in theaters, but in toy stores. Here's 25 amazing minutes of footage of WABC reporter Peter Bannon at a Toys R Us on May 21st, 1980. On May 21st, 1980, the world was excited for the release of the next installment of the original Star Wars trilogy, The Empire Strikes Back. The original film proved that the impact of the film was not just going to be in the theaters, but also in the toy stores. That is why reporter Peter Bannon was sent to do a Toys R Us interview with the manager, with some very excited customers, and of course, a scene-stealing R2-D2 toy.
Yeah,
That would have been pretty big stuff back then.
it was funny.
Now
Well,
you go
I
to
had-
a con and you go, hey, look, that's a cool R2-D2, and you walk away.
It wasn't quite like that. It was the original remote control R2D2, which was probably about.
Oh, the shorter ones. Yeah.
It's a little short. Had a remote control, and you could turn its head, and it was in a fixed stand-up position, but you could make it roll. Yeah.
The footage captures an exciting time in the release of the film and will bring back great memories to anyone who looks back fondly on the chain and its Star Wars displays. Based on the accents and the presence of Bannon, I do believe this was shot in the New York area. So
Hey.
very close to where this author grew up, which made it very extra special to the author. The footage starts with an interview with the Toys R Us store manager in front of the end cap filled with peg after peg of Star Wars figures. You just want to reach out and grab them by the armful. Oh man, back when they were in the package and cheap.
Yeah. When they were cheap. If you could go back with $2021, I mean, like currency, not 2000. Well, if you had $2,000, that'd be awesome. No, actually, what's funny about the video, when you watch it, at first I was like, wow, that's kind of long for a toy spot on a news thing, but it's like the raw footage. So it's like 10 minutes of just raw footage. And the two gentlemen, and you can see the screenshot in the article where two men are walking around the corner of an aisle to an
Mhm.
end cap. And what's funny is in the video, you can hear him going, I had to listen hard, but you hear him going, he's not speaking. He's just going, da 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 da. And the guy's going, shaking his head. They're doing that. It's just to make it look like they're talking when he's actually doing voiceover,
Okay.
as part of the produced thing. Yeah, but he's like, da 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 da. And the guy's like, yeah.
Wait, they got a picture of a lady here with a Jaws toy.
Yeah.
She's got a shark in a box. Why?
Yeah.
You're in the wrong aisle, lady.
Yeah, she was talking. I forget what she was talking about, but she had the Jaws thing. And then they were asking this little boy that's in the yellow coat, is this going to go on your Christmas, what you call it? Not a list. Your Christmas. She had some weird word for it, but anyway, she was interviewing him and the other kids, and it was really cool to see.
This kid with he's got one of those 70s haircuts, like kind of not really a bowl, but almost not really a Dutch boy, but in a yellow raincoat. He looks like he's out of a horror movie or something.
He's got
an
identical twin
kid.
just like him.
That is a creepy looking kid.
Yeah, but I was watching this video, and a lot of those things, not a lot, but some of the things I did have personally, like the TIE fighter right there, the Millennium Falcon I ended up getting at some point, and the R2D2 at some point, and various figures.
I couldn't afford any of that stuff.
Well, that's what you get for having 800 kids in your family.
Let's see. By 15, I had been working for about 5 years, and I think my annual income was about $200. I had to buy clothes that fit.
You had to buy your own clothes?
I wanted to buy my own clothes because if I didn't, I was getting hand-me-downs from my older brothers that were usually worn out and the wrong size.
Well, see, I had the younger brother, and that was it. So he got my hand-me-downs.
Yeah, must have been nice.
It was.
Oh, the stories I could tell about large families. But, look at the time. We're almost at the top of the hour.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Go watch the video. Check it out over at chuckchat.com/Technorama episode. Where's the ding? Oh, the volume was way down.
I heard it.
Because the music. Yeah. Okay.
We got volume issues tonight.
No. That was just the faders. You hear everything, whether the faders are up or down. But, over at episode 631, which brings us to our question of the week for this time. What movie prop would you give real money to have in real life? You're talking about like actual movie prop?
Yeah.
Like say you wanted the idol from Indiana Jones.
Yeah, or like Adam Savage always like working on the gun from Deckard's gun from Blade Runner,
or
that kind of stuff.
Kit from Knight Rider,
or a lightsaber. I don't know. Yeah, Kit. I'll take that. Is that a prop? It's more of a character.
I'd get something with some real value behind it, not just a lightsaber, man. The lightsabers were just sticks with post-production put on them. You're not going to get much out of that.
I want the money that was in the movie Brewster's Millions. There we go.
The actual life-size model of the Millennium Falcon. Just put it in the cul-de-sac out in front.
Yeah. That's right.
All right, that's our question for you. What movie prop would you get? And John Miller Jr. said, the Iron Man armor. Okay, that's a fair answer.
That's a good one.
Which one, though? There were like 17 of them when you get into
Iron
Man 3.
42. There was 42 of them or 40-some.
Don't forget the original silver one. All right.
No, there were Mark, was it 47 or whatever? There was like, I'm in the third movie. I'm trying to remember what the highest number he had. Anyway.
Now we get to show who's the real MCU geeks.
That's right.
He says all of them. Good answer. Good answer. You get the Mario coin for that one, man.
That's right.
All right, that's going to take us to the end of the show. Thank you very much for hanging out with us on Facebook and YouTube. We're going to boogie on out of here, record the Patreon show. We will see you again in a week, Sunday nights, 9:30 on Facebook and YouTube. Hope you can join us there. Follow us over on Facebook. Just go to Technorama Podcast. Just search for Technorama Podcast. Technorama. I have to learn to alliterate that and enunciate it. It sounds really good. So, Technorama Podcast.
I'm not good at enunciating chuckchat.com.
The vehicle from Damnation Alley. Oh, how about the house from
Amityville Horror?
Yes.
Ah! Ah! No!
What do you think that sells for? How about the one in Albuquerque from Breaking Bad? All right.
Yeah.
Till next time, give us a binary high five, Craig.
All right. 101. Don't put a pizza on my roof.
Don't put a pizza on my roof.
Yeah. Remember in Breaking Bad, they threw the pizza and it landed up on the roof of the house?
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. We're going to stop the stream and we're going to do a quick audio recording. Thank you, John Miller Jr. And we will, and Mike, and everybody else who was hanging out with us.
Amy.
And
Christina.
I'm surprised
And-
Clinton wasn't around tonight.
Yeah. I'm calling him out now.
Okay.
Why wasn't he?
We'll talk to you later. Thanks, everybody.
All right.